And continuing on landslide news today, of course, on News Insights, we're going to be looking at a very provocative and audacious headline. This article has been making the rounds and causing a lot of conversation. Well, it is time for President Bola Tinubu to allow the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to face the law. This article has been calling for Minister Wike to be prosecuted. Or I don't know what the end point is. Either way, we have Malam Hoka for himself, looking like a Malam today. You took your Malam title very, very seriously this morning.
You were all through the weekend.
You was there Fatih?
Yes,
Did I miss another?
I've been Malam all through.
Did I miss?
And I will continue to be. You know, when you say Malam, people don't get what it means. Malam is a teacher.
Teacher, yeah, actually.
Yeah, so
it's a teacher.
And I've been a teacher all my life.
You'll teach me a few things.
Yes.
And of course,
I don't know, but my reward will not be in heaven.
We will negotiate your reward. I'm thinking we continue the conversation. So first off, here's my first question. I told you people, you all set me up this morning. What do you think is motivating this call for the president to let Wike, face the law? They are not saying investigate him. They're not saying question him or call him to order, which is what we've heard a lot of. It is audaciously telling the president to allow him face the law. So they are insinuating that the president is protecting Minister Wike. Your thoughts?
I could link Wike's issues to so many other issues that are bordering on, especially when it comes to the rule of law. Wike is just one of, and maybe we are standing on that premise to talk about this. I mean, if allegation comes out about an individual, the agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of investigation and making sure these things are looked into, let's say it's a rumor. We said rumors are unconfirmed truth. They're just speculations. But that doesn't mean they're not right. Especially when you now have a good informative knowledge of the things that are being alleged of. You swing into action and you do the needful. Whether it's DSS, whether it's the ITPC, whether it's EFCC, whether it's the first CID. Do you understand? Lands have been purported to have been given to Wike cronies. Some have been shown that he has demolished a lot of people's property to take them over with evidences. Why are we shielding him? Or why is the law shielding? Is it the law or the agencies or the people involved not making sure that he's been investigated? Wike is a Nigerian citizen that is subject to the law. Number two, Wike doesn't have immunity at this time. Now, let's even talk about that immunity we talk about. If a governor has an immunity or a president has an immunity, it doesn't mean that he cannot be investigated. It just means that he cannot be tried and put in jail. Yeah. So if he's investigated and is found wanting, you wait until that immunity is lifted. Now, Wike doesn't even have immunity. Wike has been alleged to buy properties in the US with evidences. Wike has been alleged that he gave land to his children, and this land were paid for with little or no money. I mean, with all the evidences, what's shielding him? Is it the de facto president? Do you understand? Now, the law is what governs us. I've always said it. In this country, our Bible, if you go to the mosque, the Quran spells out what you can do as a Muslim. The same way with the Bible. If you even go to a traditional shrine in Nigeria, they will tell you can't stay here, you can't stay here. It's not even written down. But in everybody's mind is written down. You can't stop here, drop your slippers here. The same way in this country, our Bible is the Constitution. Wike is not above the Constitution. It should be brought to the judiciary.
Mr. Okafor.
Yeah, whether the president to allow Wike to be prosecuted at this time, my friend, sometimes friend, not all the time, have always said something. He said, when you want to look at what a man would do, you are going to first of all look at the idiosyncrasies of that man. How has that man been doing things before? Bola Tinubu will first of all do the mathematical calculation of what Wike will bring to the table come 2027 election to our president. You might do whatever you like, you might say whatever you like. Politics is number one. And we have seen that, okay, and we can prove that. So he's going to look at what Wike will bring to the table. Can I form that same formation with Fubara? Because people are already calling, pressuring him that these things you think Wike can do, Fubara as a governor can do it. That Wike was not even able to remove Governor Fubara until you came in to help Wike with the emergency rule. That Fubara is on ground, and Fubara has never really shown any hatred towards you. Even the other day, Fubara just thanked Wike on the Ogoni 9 that they pardon and all that, led by Kensaro Riwa. Fubara's body language have always shown that, President, I can work with you. Leave this man alone. Forget about this reconciliation they did. Leave this man alone. I can work with you. So at some point, the president is going to throw in Wike, but how? Issues of pushing him to be litigated, to be prosecuted or whatever, I don't know, but I think the citizens themselves owe themselves a duty to present a formal petition before EFCC. It helps. Yes, EFCC, ICPC can listen to a song or media and art, but these guys are abusing, I can tell you. Just take a visit to EFCC office or go to ICPC office. They are busy. So if they can formalize a petition, submit it to EFCC, then you can say, oh, I have submitted this thing to EFCC. They have done nothing. It's easier. This is a call on citizens and a call on the report writers, in quotes, those asking them to drop Wike. Instead of doing that report, that same time you spend in writing that report is sufficient to put these things together. Write a formal request, get acknowledgement, throw it into the media, then we can sit here and call EFCC and say, why have you not done this? Yes, we've looked at into some operations of land grabbings and stories of that, people who have developed their land and Wike going to reallocate them, especially the one in Karo and all the likes. I think Wike came in as a novice and grossly ignorant of the law. They think the minister will just revoke the land. No! The primary reason for allocation of land is development, not to make money for government. Making money for government is a secondary interest. And if you are to legally revoke a developed land, the first right of refusal for the allocation of that land, if it's for the same purpose, is still the owner of the land. Except it's for overriding public interest. You want to build school in the place, you want to build a rail station, you want to build a university, you want to do things like that. You can't take a developed land, revoke it and locate yourself. You will go to jail. If you don't do it now, like he has said, the investigation will be done now, and when though he doesn't have immunity, but in some form the president can confer immunity on him, because the president said, do not prosecute this man, you are not going to go ahead. In Nigeria we know today, you are not going to go ahead.
So I think, because would you say that this protection, whether it's there or it's in our heads, would you say that this protection that he's getting from the president is because of 2027 elections? Or is it for another reason? Because at this point, I think when Nigeria started to notice and ask a lot of questions about the relationship going on between the president and Wike was when the whole Fubara situation happened, and we saw the way that the president swung in, and we're like, okay, what's really going down there? And then eventually, with the declarations bold declarations that Wike has made, like, I'm going to be supporting the president for presidency 2027, doesn't matter what party I'm in. And we've seen
let me tell you one thing the president doesn't want to do.
Yes,
the president doesn't want to get into this 2027 scandal. That's why you see the Minister of Science and Technology resign. Okay, things like that. He doesn't want to get into anywhere with scandal, and that is where people are coming to him to tell him, drop Wike. This Wike asset investigation or whatever, that is, people are saying he has a house in the US, he has acquired farmland here and allocated to his children and all that. The president doesn't want that. The president is going to bring this to the table. I can tell you, 2027, once the president is running. Look, I remember I said about idiosyncrasy. Politics is his number one. Once he's running for 2027, if throwing in Wike will pay him better, he will throw in Wike. But if returning Wike will pay him better, he will also do that. Yes, 2027 will appear to be the major reason on how to deal with Wike.
There's a place I don't agree with you. Like today, this morning, you are speaking on behalf of the EFCC. EFCC doesn't have anything, their hands full at all. EFCC eyes and ears are upon small Yahoo boys.
No, I'm not making excuses for them.
No, hold on.
And I'm trying to make it easier.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah,
that people should put up a petition.
Yeah, so that it become easier.
For example, what this Wike wrote now on the Authority newspaper shows us that there are enough write-ups that have been done, either in the media or personally, to EFCC, ICPC, and agencies of government involved in prosecution. But none of them has ever gone up to.
But I'm telling you how to make this easy.
Well, I agree with you.
Yeah, there's something called watertight.
In case exactly, boss them into a corner.
You pass them into a corner.
I said that.
So you know that one. Which one you can't do?
No, I just wanted to let you know.
Don't you think that it is very important for us to emphasize on these ways forward?
Yes.
Exactly. Because there's a good number of Nigerians. One thing that
you don't just throw something into the media and expect FCC to just be acting.
We argue.
Beyond today, EFCC has gone into what petition went before EFCC?
No, we are not saying
they arrested.
No, we are not saying that they have to.
We are not saying they have
if
to.
the Nigerian people are really interested in pushing this down, writing articles in the media is not going to cut it.
It's not enough. That's what they are saying.
If you like, go out and protest. We've seen protests not working. You have to push this to a point where you're boxing.
But let me also tell you something. My own point.
Okay, can I tell you something?
Yes.
Do you think the judge, the court, even when they know the truth, that when making judgment, they're going to do anything outside the evidence?
That's judiciary.
I'm giving you an example.
No, but let me tell you my own opinion on the president.
Yeah.
I don't think, from what we are seeing now, that the presidency is going to throw Wike in. We have seen the president able to manage so many things. Just before the weekend, we saw the president pardon a lot of people from...
including the lady that killed her husband.
Exactly. Now, if you look at more than 50% of those that got pardoned, maybe even up to 70%, they are either drug people or people that have defrauded the Nigerian system. What are you saying? What you just say is that fold up EFCC that convicted Lawal, is it Lawal, that House of Rep member from Kano, fold up what's it, NDLEA that has prosecuted and put a lot of drug lords behind bar, fold up.
It's a presidential pardon for a few people. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean
for a few people. It's for a great number of people, and over more than 70, over 100, and more than 70% of these people are people that have gone against the state. I'm telling you, either as drug lord, either as violent people. A man that has been involved in kidnapping, assassination, was pardoned. Chiwi. Okay. That's not a good
I wish we could get into that. That's a whole conversation for itself.
Exactly.
I don't want us to get into the whole pardons, because that's conversation.
Why do you call it pardon?
What I'm saying is that if the president did this one, I'm not sure he would do that of Wike.
If I may, unfortunately, that thing called time is beckoning on us. We have to wrap it up on News Insights this morning. Thank you very much, Malam Okafor and PK. Of course, we're going to continue with other programs. Don't forget to share links and invite your family, friends, and loved ones to follow.